What's going on, chat? Audio check. How you guys doing? Jake Ricci, you're still awake. What up, Ron? Sounds good, sounds good. What's going on, Ramirez? Sanshen, Trade Wop. What up, Buljeet? Jimmy Tran, Adam. Sounds good, sounds good. I'm actually just logging into my broker here, so give me a second, gang. And then I will switch over to the main screen. How's the music volume? I have to double check. After that one time that one person asked and made the comment, I'm now like making sure that the music's actually done properly. Is the volume okay for you guys? What's going on, Damon? Jazza, hello. Oscar, what's going on, bud? It wasn't a holiday weekend for me, but it was a holiday weekend for you guys, though, for sure. Is there no music on your guys' end? Okay, just double check. Give me a second here. Really? No music on your end? Can you just double check again? Just making sure. Just because I see it on my side that it's playing music, so. It's mild, okay. Very low volume, okay. All good, we'll leave it low for now. What's going on, Alex? Good to see you, man. Rudy, Rahman, what's up, man? Hassan, good to see you guys, man. I'm actually just gonna set something up here quickly because my broker is being really weird at the moment. Give me a second here. Just gonna double check my login. Hope you guys are doing well. There was no holiday for me actually because in Canada, long weekend was the weekend before, but definitely took advantage of the R&R time and spent time with the family. So no complaints here, man. Yeah, so just so you guys know as well, I saw that Ray posted on the chattery, so that's good. But TPT is still doing their 50% off, and you guys know how I feel about Take Profit Trader. Definitely, although intraday drawdown can be a very tough thing to get over when you're in the funded phase, but it's one of my go-to prop firms in the space. It's one of the ones that paid me out the most in my entire trading career. So, you guys haven't checked them out, man. 150K account is basically only 180 bucks. I mean, that's pretty banging, to be honest. So, just wanted to make sure I bring that out there because I thought they were gonna move the deal away, but it looks like they're keeping it on for a little bit longer for us. So let's take advantage of that, man. Let's take advantage of that. AXP, man, you live in the dream, man. You're on the beach trying to catch a trade. That's the goals, man. That's goals. All right, I'm logged into my broker now. %, man. 100%. Damad, how's it going? Emily, hello. Welcome. Good to see you guys. You guys know what the assignment is, right? You gotta drop a like and the thumbs up on the stream, gang. All right, I'm just gonna put this here as I usually do, just to kind of walk us through for all the kind of newcomers that are hopping onto the stream for the first time. 200 thumbs up equals on the stream equals a 50K giveaway. I'm gonna let the gang roll in as we go along here as well because, as usual, we'll wait for the first 10 minutes as people are rolling in before I start doing the trade reviews with the gang. Take it easy, Jake. Just reading the chat, sorry. What up, Novex? Are you feeling lucky today? Do you have any favorite brag audacious rap bars? What does that mean? Yeah, we are riding that 90 EMA down today, man. I was looking to scalp longs here, but we'll give it a bit. I'm going to play something a little bit more chill for the gang. We'll rock to the Naruto OST a little bit later on. We're just going to play some chill music for now, and we will rock some of the other music a little bit later on. They're in a short 29.798. 29.798. Tread carefully. You know, obviously it'd be nice to see that that breakdown. I would tread carefully because we're actually holding a very key area right now, which is the reason why I was looking for longs to begin with. Joshua, what's going on? This long setup could be working out nicely for us. We'll see if we get follow through on it. Hopefully you guys have been doing good as well, though, man. I don't know, did any of you guys trade yesterday over the slower session? I know there was some opportunity for the gang to take some trades. Didi, what's up? NQ bounce off the 29.781 there is looking pretty good right now. Put it here. 10, say 15 PM PST, NQ, and GC chart review. So we'll do a chart review in a bit, gang. We're gonna let the gang roll in here. As everyone's rolling in, good to see you guys. Welcome to Project 365. If this is your first time tuning in, we are streaming 5-6 days a week, 10 hours of the days, and potentially even more than that. Who knows in the coming future here? But generally, I have the slower session, so I can answer a lot of questions for the gang as we go along. As usual, I'm going to roll into the NQ and gold chart review with everyone, and then I'm going to talk about what I'm looking for on the given day. And then from there on out, we'll just banter, we'll chat. If there's anything that we want to chat about, ask any questions you'd like. Trading, business, life, whatever you want, man. We'll chat today. But I'm going to let the gang roll in here for a bit first. Kamya, good to see you, man. Kaplov, hello, hello. Sagar, what's going on, man? Trade Wop, was that question for me, man? I didn't actually even end up entering it. I was just setting everything up and didn't want to take it because I was like, you know what? I'm not even settled in yet. I don't want to just hop into it, but it did look good though for this 1 hour bounce though. Alan, do you know what historically happens to the charts when it approaches previous all-time during pre-market? Does it tend to break under or bounce off of? Just want to make sure I reread that again. Do you know what? So Aman, if I understand your question correctly, and I will talk about that, and that's kind of the reason why I'm looking at the chart in the way that I am, because with where we are right now, all-time high was an out spot, and generally speaking, wherever we're coming back into that area, I'm generally looking for that resistance flip support bounce. We kind of had that a little bit earlier on already. So if you were on the chart earlier to catch this long, that was a really nice long potential setup here. This one, we're kind of looking for like a double bottom. I mean, 1R, I think, is a very reasonable ask right now. And I say 1R because I'm using the last candle bar low here as the risk. Technically speaking, if you were to use the bottom of that one, I mean, technically this would be a 2R trade in theory, right? I think we have the possibility of moving on up higher. We do have like a bit of a range kind of developed up the top here, and I'll just draw a visual channel here just to more so just there you go, just to kind of just show a visual. I think 2R, or however you want to look at it. Maybe I won't even use R multiple because every single person might want to risk the trade a little bit differently. But right now for about 30 points, I think that's like a very good safety net. You probably could shoot for lower than that, and that'd probably be safer just because of the range. But anything between here to 30 is pretty safe. I mean, would I want to push for the 200 EMA? Yeah, you're stretching yourself a little bit just because of the range. It becomes a little bit riskier. This is kind of where if I were to manage this trade setup, I would probably trim somewhere within 25 points to 30 points, and maybe let the runner run to see if we can tag the 200 EMA, or maybe even break even higher than that, right? That's probably how I would manage that trade setup for longs. Do you know anyone who uses Motive Wave or Trade C? I don't. I have a couple of students that have been trading off of Trade C, and they seem to like it. I haven't traded it myself, so I can't speak to that, unfortunately. Are there any talks about a meetup? That's going to be completely up to Jake. I think that depending on where it is, I mean, yeah, Jake hosts it this time around, assuming that it doesn't overlap with one of my holiday things that I have planned. I will 100% be there. I couldn't make it to the last meetup that he had because I was actually on a family vacation. So if it all works out, absolutely. I'm actually making some pretty big life changes right now, currently. Not really announcing it to the socials all too much just yet, but when those changes become more real, I'll talk about it more. But part of those big changes is that I am going to be traveling around the world a lot more than I used to historically. So if we have live meetups, man, no matter where Jake decides to host them, I'm going to be down to do that. And also, if you're like following me on Instagram already, I know a lot of people tend to reach out and say like, hey, you know, if you ever come down to my area, like neck of the woods, like definitely reach out to me, let me know. I can definitely do that, right? Like, because I do travel quite a bit. If I am ever in the neck of the woods, I'd always be up for a live meetup and live chat. I'm always all for that, right? So I'll leave my Instagram there. You can always follow along and DM me. Yeah, when I'm traveling, man, I know I have plans to go to Italy next year with the family, and so I know one of my students is from Italy as well. So I'm totally down for a live meetup in Italy when that time comes as well. That's still a year out from now, though. But thoughts on GEX? All Out God. I don't even know what GEX is. What is that? I don't trade that. What is GEX? Is that the ticker's name? I have no idea what GEX is. Guitar guy. Yeah, I mean, I'm liking the way that we're setting up here. Guitar guy, I would like us, I mean, if you're not already entered in on a long off that fail to go lower candle here, I'd like for us to kind of hold this area here, ideally, to see if we can. And then keep pushing higher. That'd be nice to see. Summertime, LA, San Francisco. Hey, that's possible. I mean, I don't have anything planned just yet. I mean, I got a wedding I got to go to in July. So other than that, I don't have anything specifically planned out. But I'm also going to be in the mix of making some pretty big moves of myself over the summer. So we'll see. We'll see what that looks like. But I'm definitely going to be down if there's something being hosted for sure. Hey, Kaplov, I actually don't use order flow, man. I'm sorry. I'm not the best guy to speak on order flow in that regard. But I understand that order flow is kind of like giving you better senses of areas of support and resistance. So if you have levels and you're running that in conjunction with order flow, I have no doubt that that's probably going to be extra additional conviction for the gang. What up, Bernatti? Yeah, it's been a while. Honestly, man, it's kind of crazy, eh? I'm so used to spending time with you guys on stream that when we take like 3 days off instead of 2, it actually feels really weird. GX's gamma exposure. Oh, thanks, AXP, for clarifying that. I actually don't use that. Yeah, I know. I don't know much about gamma. Mitch is definitely the expert. He's our in-house expert when it comes to gamma. AXP, man, you can't blame me. I'm a noob when it comes to that, okay? I'm a noob. All right, so it's 10:16 here, guys, as we were kind of rolling in here. Before I start my trade review here, I'll just note it like one last time here. Welcome, gang. For those who are tuning in for the first time, welcome to Project 365. I am going to, over the course of today, go through a few things here. Hold on a second. There you go. What I'm going to go through right now is I'm going to go through the NQ and the gold chart review, and then talk a little bit about kind of what I'm looking for. I've kind of drawn out some visual structures here and an entry point for a long trade that is looking like it's wanting to play out right now, and we'll see if it does, right? And then honestly, throughout the stream, any questions that you guys have about trading, life, business, whatever, I am a very well-rounded individual. Although I have excelled in trading these past few years, my core of what I do is actually in the business world. So I'm always more than happy. And actually, a lot of times with the students that I work with today, we don't just talk about trading, we actually talk about business and career stuff as well. So more than happy to kind of chat that up. But I am going to hop right into the trade review right now, and I'm just going to copy and paste this over here, just because I am going to concentrate the chart over here. Give me a second. All right. Okay, so as usual, I'm going to break this down. We're going to start from looking at the larger time frames. We're going to work our way down, and we're going to go over both the NQ and gold. Now, if there's any questions that are kind of flowing through the chat, I will get to it afterwards. So for those who are wanting to ask those questions, I'm not ignoring you. I will get to those questions. But for now, I do very much so want to kind of go through this in terms of the chart review first. So as usual, I'm going to go through the larger time frames first. So let's take a look at the weekly and see how we're doing right now. So on the weekly time frame, you can see here that we've on this week we've gapped up and we've pushed up. We've set new all-time highs. I don't know if you guys remember. I can't remember what stream I mentioned this, but I've always said that whenever we try to tag for those round numbers, don't be a prick for a tick, because again, more often than not, I think there's a lot of anticipation for that for everyone, and you can kind of see that our all-time high that was formed is at 29,995.25. We are literally 4.75 points away from 30,000, which is kind of crazy to see how far the NQ has moved over the past like 8 weeks here, right? But we knew we've been targeting the $30,000 mark for a few weeks now, and now we're pretty darn close to that, right? So based on that, what we see right now, I just want to note that this is exactly why I'd say don't be a prick for a tick. I'm going to talk into the chart because technically speaking, two trading days have already passed by at this point, right? So I want to make sure that I can touch on all the opportunities of where I would have traded, all of that, right? So on the weekly time frame, we're still obviously evidently bullish. We're breaking out of that weekly, not the cleanest 1, 2, 3 bar play here, but we are breaking out of it right now, right? On the daily time frame at the moment as well, again, you'll see that same gap up. We made this comment a few streams back. We said that after this daily engulfing failed to go lower, we were looking to potentially form this higher low for us to continue moving. And we've done that so far over the past week here. And we can see that here, right? Moving into the hourly time frame, you can see here, obviously the price action we're seeing here culminates the price action from Sunday's open leading into the partial day close on Monday's New York session, and now coming into the current session that we're in. So we technically have 2 sessions worth baked into this, and you can kind of see here, right? That's the all-time high that we kind of spoke about. We're up here as the all-time highs. And so if I were to zoom in now and take a look at this, you can see here there were plenty of opportunities for us to have taken trades off of the bounce or the longs off of VWAP. So we can see here, as you guys know, for those who are kind of new hopping in, I do favor the VWAP and the 200 EMA quite a bit if I were to use it as an indicator. And for those who are new, I am not an indicator trader, but I do look at indicator for conviction. And the 200 EMA and the VWAP are two indicators that I do value quite a bit. And you can see how this plays out quite well. Especially when we're trading in the all-time highs, we've got no levels to really base it off of. I know there's a lot of different styles out there. Some of you guys will draw Fibonacci's, and you guys will use the Fibonacci retracements as a form of trading within the all-time highs if there are no levels. Some of you guys will use different other forms of, Bollinger Bands. Again, so many different kinds of indicators for you to drive that off of, right? So I'm just sharing with you guys, outside of the FF indicator, I do like to use the VWAP and the 200 EMA as kind of that extra additional conviction. You can kind of see here in the over the Sunday session, and this is technically the session we would have streamed if we were to have streamed on Sunday. This was the 10 p.m. Clock opening here. You can see that we double topped the all-time high of 29.95 here, and then from there on out, it offered a short opportunity for us that pushed us down. You guys are following me long enough know that when it comes to reversal trades, I love my double bottoms and double tops. They tend to work out fairly well for me. I'm not saying they work out all the time, but they work out fairly well for me, right? And so you can see here it offered a very nice 2R trade setup to the downside. Now, if you were willing to hold for VWAP, it did end up giving us that. But this is a very good example. Jake talks about this a lot. I talk about this a lot. When we trade, we like to let trades play out. We don't like moving our stops to break even. This is a great example again, where a double top form offering us a nice 2R trade. And if you want to hold for more, let's just say maybe you trimmed off of 2R here and you still had one more runner or whatever it may be, it would have given us a nice opportunity to have held for a larger move. Had you moved this position to break even, you can see right here, that wick would have stopped you out and it would have ran without you, right? Again, I have the philosophy of I accept my risk when I take my trades. I allow them to run its course. If I win, I lose, I accept whatever comes of that, right? And you can see here that that double top played out very nicely. Up to the 200 EMA would have given you about a 3.5R trade, which is about 50 points. If you actually were willing to let this go all the way to the VWAP, this was about a 6.5R trade, about a 91 points to the downside. So a very solid trade there in itself. You can see here later on, once we bounced off of VWAP, that offer also offered us a nice long opportunity if you were willing to risk that, obviously. 2R trade was very much on the table, and it actually gave us a total of near 3R. Didn't give us a 3R, but it gave us pretty close to 3R, assuming that you want to get target right away here and you didn't hold for this bigger move later on. You can see here how the 200 EMA continues to get respected and the VWAP continues to get respected. And I'm just going to highlight this just for the visual aid. And this is the reason why I do like using it as conviction. Again, we can't just blindly hop into trades just because we see that it's, forming some sort of support. But it is worthy to note that it is being respected nevertheless, right? So you can see that these areas were playing out in the way that they were over the course of the session after the fact. So coming into what was the New York session. During the New York session on Monday, even though it was a partial day, had a very clean short opportunity off the all-time highs. Again, if you were to capture that short trade, I think that probably would have been a 90-point trade is my guess. 73-point trade to the downside. And then same thing again. We basically whipsawed back and forth from all-time highs to VWAP, back to all-time highs, back to VWAP, and then back up again. So literally just trading within that alone would have offered you a lot of trading opportunity. Now coming into today, obviously the all-time high will be something we'll watch if we even have a chance to get up there. But since we opened up over our current Globex session at 29,962, you can see here we came down, we held the VWAP initially for a bit, and then we set a nice lower high here around the 200 EMA before we started pushing our way back down, creating the move that we have here. And so had you taken a trade, let's just say you took the lower high trade off of the 200 EMA, risking 16 points, the total move right now all the way down to the old all-time high of 29,781 that would have been a 154 point trade, a 9.6 R trade. I highlight these as opportunities because I don't expect everyone, or anyone for that matter, to hold the trade for that long, right? I don't expect that, but it's just to note that as well. Right, we're seeing right now is we're ranging, right? You guys have heard me talk about this before, and it's important that we recognize when we are in a range. Coming into this session for the past 3 hours, 3.5 hours, we've just been ranging between this upper channel here down towards the old all-time high at 29,781. So as of right now, I think we really do need to manage our expectation. This isn't where we're going to be aiming for a very high R multiple trade setup. I'm very content with hopping 1 to 2 R here and there and just taking my wins and walking away. You can see that that's essentially what's happening right now. If you missed this bounce trade, there is really no trade to take at this point. And I say this, and you guys have probably heard me say this a lot, time and time again, we're in the middle of the range. If you were to use this as the top of the range, and then you were to look at this at the bottom of the range, well, guess what? We're smack dab literally right in the middle of it. So whatever trade you take, long or short, I think you're really gambling at this point. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Unless you've entered longs already down here, as I mentioned earlier, it doesn't make a lot of sense for us to enter anything at this point in time. I'd much rather wait and see how things pan out. But that's essentially kind of what I'm looking for right now. If we can hold the 29,781, I'm looking for us to make moves up, and we'll trim along the way, whether we have the range here, which is kind of coinciding with the 200 EMA here soon, or maybe we actually have a move all the way back up and retrace back to the 29,900 area. So I would say NQ target, we can maybe tag up towards 29,830, and then if we breach past that, if we show momentum, yeah, we might get knocked out by some of these lower high here's, but I would probably tag VWAP as the next one, which would be somewhere around 29,900 is what I would probably look for in terms of that. So anyways, that's kind of my 2 cents right now at this very moment. I'm just gonna read the chat really quickly here before I hop onto the gold trade review. I think 12 Mars since I've started using order flow just to have more confidence. Can you tell me is 12 Mars up a good data, or is it just me? Capital, man, if you get 12 monitors, man, that's freaking insane. Like, I got quite the command center set up here. I got a 49-inch TV here. I got a 49-inch wide Odyssey screen above me. The screen that I'm dead in front of me right now is a 32-inch Samsung. I got 27-inch vertical here. Honestly, considering that I also trade and I run businesses through my computer setup, I find that this is more than enough. Power to you, man. If you want to run that many monitors, I mean, I think there is such thing as paralysis from analysis. You don't want to overanalyze too much either, right? Kaplov. So that would be kind of my 2 cents on that. But again, whatever works. I mean, technically speaking, even my setup is way more, you know, grandeur than even what Jake has. If I remember what Jake has, he has like his 49-inch wide. I think he has that, and maybe one more monitor, I think was what he has. And he does amazing. I mean, you've seen what he's been capable of, right? So I'm not going to say that more screens will always solve the problem. I think having 2 screens is definitely helpful. Anything past 2 screens really just becomes subjective preference at that point in time. So anyways, hopefully that kind of answers your question, Kaplov. NQ looks like a rounding top is forming. If it breaks the gap up, this crash just all the way down like a waterfall, so it needs to move up soon to not let that happen. Yeah, I mean, sorry, I guess I should probably note that as well. NQ, long target. Thank you for reminding me, because yeah, the short target is if we lose this spot down here, this old all-time high, we would target for 29,756, 29,736. I want to see if I have any other spots that I actually had on my chart here. I would probably go for 29,55875. It's probably what I would go for. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to customize one last thing here. 749. There you go. I'll leave that there. I'm just going to go through the questions for now. So just so you guys know, had you entered that long trade that I mentioned here, you would have already capitalized on 2R already, because the target that I have is quite an expansive one. 2R would have been right here. Actually, no, we're just literally at the cusp of 2R right now. So that's the 2R mark. So we'll see if we hit that 2R. I'll just put the alert right there. What up, Dr. Research? Looking Turkey. Thank you. No one's New York opens. Yeah, let's get it. Do you, Dr. Research, do you trade Asia London much? Is New York generally what you trade? The 233 EMA? Yeah, I honestly, I mean, I have quite a bit that I look at already. I mean, if you found that has been a helpful thing for you, man, absolute power to you, my friend. Most people who look at my chart already say that there's too much going on. And I agree. I mean, I think I like to keep mine as simple as I possibly can. You'll find that I have my 200 EMA and the VWAP on my 2-minute time frame, but on my 5-minute time frame, I'll have the 9, 20, and 50 EMA in there as well, running in conjunction. And there is a reason for that. It's just because of the way that I trade on the multiple time frames when I use them. Do I think that the New York session is better than the other sessions? So Midori, you're speaking actually to the person who has predominantly traded the Asia London session. As if you guys haven't seen before, I've posted that before on my YouTube as well about my year-end review for 2025. But my high 6-figure payout year that I had was actually 90% of it was derived from the Asia London session. Although I've also excelled trading the New York session because that's where I trade options. I prefer Asia, and I think for a lot of people who learn, it gives a lot of opportunity as well to trade because you get to learn with slower price action. A lot, Bopa. I appreciate it, man. Much love, man. Old bum session VWAP. I'm gonna say yes to that. I do use the VWAP. I don't have it calibrated in any fancy way. It's just the default VWAP that I use. It's not the anchored VWAP. It's just the VWAP that runs throughout the course of the trading session. $6. Morning stand-in trades. $6 away from funded. Another account is $28 away. We're getting 2 fundeds tonight. Vernati, let's go. Let's get it, buddy. You got this. I believe in you. Yeah, Buljeet. Fair enough, man. I mean, I think that you probably recognize why that worked against you in terms of the setup based on where we are on the chart. Kaplov, I don't mind doing that. I will bring that question back up later on. I'm more than happy to do that later on, okay? If you guys are just rolling in, by the way, welcome Project 365. Drop a thumbs up, guy. If we guys get to 200 thumbs up on the stream, we're going to do a 50K giveaway. And if we can crack over 300, we'll do a second giveaway today. No matter how fast we get there. So the faster we get there, the faster we can get those giveaway out to you, gang. Dr. Research, hey, man. Totally, that makes sense, man. I mean, if you... You already know your niche, right? New York session is your bay. You hold on to that baby, man. What up, right guy? Yeah, I share that same. That, you know what Dr. Research is talking about. I really share that sentiment, right? It's like, do I trade the New York? I do, but there's a reason why I primarily trade the Asia London session. Is just because it's where I found my bread and butter over the time. And understand that for all those guys who are new hopping on and learning trading this year for the first time, or maybe learning trading for the first time in the past 12, 18 months, just understand that during different market conditions, different presidential cycles, you will experience different kinds of price actions during different sessions. And that's the reason why I say that, because I think sometimes people get used to these larger moves that take place over the Asia session, not realizing that it doesn't always function this way. In the same way for New York, sometimes some people might be learning when New York is ranging like crazy and like having a lot of stall movement before it actually has the breakthrough. You can get a little frustrated. But you know, many of the hosts on Project 365 have traded New York session when it's been trending very well. And we know how lucrative a trending market on the New York session can be, because it moves quite literally 300 to 400 points like it's just a walk in the park. So absolutely know your game, know what you like. Part of understanding your edge is also part of understanding your session that you prefer to trade. Rye guy, I didn't want to enter too soon. The stream had just started and it was setting up, and I was still getting everything, all my screens and stuff set up, but I highlighted that this was a long setup that I recommended for the gang. I'll take a look at gold in a little bit here, Mobex. Potential micro channel uptrend. Yeah, I mean, I think right now we should be wary of the range beneath here. If anyone who's looking for longs, which is why I'm saying that I don't think it makes a lot of sense to try to long into this range right now. Like if you've already missed your entry, it's too risky to hop in now. I like Asia and London, Adam, because of the fact that price is slower. I think when you come from trading the New York session, Asia is probably going to drive you up the wall because it moves slower than the New York session does. But I find that price development is just a little bit easier to read, especially if you're learning. And for me as a personal, right, I think a big part of understanding you as a trader is also kind of knowing what works for your life. And personally, for me, trading New York would not work. I'd be in meetings, client meetings, getting kids ready for school. There's too much going on that I would not, New York would just be too distracting for me. Asia is just probably the time where I get the most kind of peace and quiet, and especially London, because by London, for me, because I'm in Vancouver, this is the West Coast, Pacific Standard Time, it's basically everyone's already asleep at this time. So that's why this kind of time period works the best for me. Yeah, Dr. Research, I love it, man. It's, you gotta, you know, people on the space, right, they get so distracted by all the different shiny things. Ooh, this strategy's good. Oh, this session's good. Oh, this asset's good. And it's like, don't get me wrong, I can understand why that happens, but it's so important for us as traders to be able to refine ourselves. And if we can't find something, an asset, a session, a period, a strategy that we can consistently work with, it's hard for us to develop an edge, right? You're never gonna have a clean, concise understanding of your trade style. So what's up, ZPS? Yeah, you know what, Asia Jet, I don't know when you hopped in, but Asia can be a little bit slower. We're ranging at the moment. We're ranging. What we like to see right now is either we break out of the range to the upside, break out of the range to the downside, or we literally just trade the range that we're stuck within right now at this moment in time. I mean, we had a pretty sharp move. From what I can see, basically we gapped up on Sunday and we broke up into the high side here. And since then, we are just peeling back to where we opened up again, right? So if price, for example, does come back, and that's where I had my price targets. Where did I put them? That's why I had my price targets here, right? With the price targets where they are, if we do end up coming down, and let's just say we come into London Open and we end up tagging the lows of 29,558 or 29,749, I'd be very much open to seeing if we can catch a very strong long to the upside from there to see if we can retrace this major retracement back since we've broken all-time highs. Asia session, I don't know what time zone you're in, my friend. From Vancouver Pacific Standard Time, the Tokyo Open opens at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now that I'm kind of caught up with the questions here, I'm going to move on to going over the gold trade setup. What's up, big boy? Weekend's been good, man. It's been just tying up. I've been super, super busy still, but it's been a good busy. Getting a lot done, man. Getting a lot done. Best method or exercise you did to build trading discipline? Journaling. I don't want to say this because I don't know if it's true, but I wouldn't be surprised if I have probably journaled more trades than any host on Project 365. I don't want to quote it because I don't actually know that. I know a little bit of Ron. I know more of Jake. I don't know Christian and Mitch as much, so I can't say the same. But what I can say is all of us do study our trades a lot. I just know that for a fact I've journaled a great deal. And I think that in order for you to really build a discipline and understanding, you have to know your value and know your edge. I just look at it in every facet, right? Like if you were trying to build out a career path and you are trying to do everyone's job, then you'll never really establish value in what you do, right? In order for you to establish value, you have to understand one area of specialty. And if you want to be decent at other things, that's okay too. But even for me in my corporate career, the two things that I was known for was people development, which basically meant talent management, talent growth, organizational growth development. Like that was kind of where my strength came in. And then financial acumen, building 10-year forecasts, financial analytics, debt to equity ratios. That's where my strength was in the career aspect. So if I'm strong in those areas, I'm going to lean strong. Can I do all the other things as well? I can, but I lean heavily on those two because that's what has made my name.
That's what's been my bread and butter. So when it comes to trading, it's really the same thing. Will you trade reversals once in a while? Will you trade the range once in a while? Sure. But if you're a trend trader and that is your edge, and you have found strategies that work into that edge, then why would you change anything about that, right? Then you should really focus on that heavily. Oh, you're in LA. Okay, cool. We share the same time zone, man. Yeah, William, I don't know if you've been on the stream before or know much about my trading, but when it comes to chart patterns, I actually do very much like the double bottom setups. Those are kind of like my go-to. In terms of journaling, I use Trader Stats. TradeZella has all the bells and whistles. There's a reason why it's one of the biggest ones in the industry. I just like using Trader Stats because it's a third of the cost. And for what I needed to do, it does exactly what I need to do. So I don't really need more than what it's already offering, which is the reason why I could go that way. Now, with that said, though, you can always just use anything you have. Like if you don't want to use a trading journal, like the ones that you pay for, I mean, well before I even discovered what Trader Stats was, I was actually trading on I was using Excel spreadsheets. I was using Notion page. There was a lot of different things that I used at the time. So whatever works best for you, my friend. Roy, I'm not in longs actually. I was just getting set up when we hopped in the stream. I highlighted this setup earlier on because of the balance that we were forming, which is why I put this out. So I was mentioning how 1R trade was very easily attainable, as we can see here. 2R, we haven't been able to hit it yet. We literally missed it by like a millitic. So I don't know if it's going to get there now, but my targets here for longs and shorts are here. That's where I'm expecting to go. We're in this range at this moment, right? And we'll see if we can break above the range or break beneath the range. Generally, I like break and retests. I don't like breakout trades. It's just, again, personal preference, but all you guys might have different styles of that. Yeah, I'll look out. All out God. That's what I'm saying, right? When you have things like Trader Stats, stuff like that, at least you can port your trade logs from the broker, and it just makes it a lot easier, right? So I'll show you guys. I mean, depending on how much time we have, I'm more than happy to show you guys what journaling kind of looks like on my end. I've done this before on stream, but I'll give a snippet of that a little bit later on as well. I don't mind doing that for the gang. But yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do the gold trade review now because I haven't done that yet. So I'm gonna go through the gold trade review just for the gang. As you guys know, with gold, I've been a big old bear, right? And as of right now, I made the comment that I said I don't know how the week's gonna end, if we're gonna put in a bullish fail to go lower or not. Looks like we didn't. We closed off a bear spinning top, which still obviously forms a bit of indecision. I think that if we end up breaking the 45-22 area, maybe we might have a little bit more room down, just based on this larger time frame. On the daily as well, we are seeing that we are kind of now ranging within this area, which kind of makes sense because this is where we bounced last time, right? What I will say to this on the daily time frame right now is that as you guys know, I'm very happy with how this worked out. We were looking for shorts on gold for weeks, and we got that nice move to the downside. Now what we want to see is obviously that we hold beneath this area here and see if we can kind of a continuation breakdown. You guys know that I like looking at the 200 EMA on two different things specifically, right? I like looking at the 200 EMA on the 2-minute time frame, and I like looking at it on the daily time frame. So right now you can see that the 200 EMA is kind of hovering in this area. And if you guys remember from like streams ago, I had made a comment that the 4455 gold spot was going to be a point to watch. A, because it was an area of interest of mine. B, because I had a channel in that area, as you can see. And with the additional conviction, we also had the 200 EMA, which is kind of, we're not there, but it's close. You know, we're getting into that zone. So it gives me the vibes that we might hold in that area. Now, of course, if we break down, that's going to be a whole different conversation and story here. Taking a look at gold on the hourly time frame, I mean, we're last hour closed off bearish. Can't believe it's already 10:44. We got 15 minutes left here. If this hourly candle closes as a pause bar, we might want to look to see if we can get a 1, 2, 3 to the downside, a 3-bar hourly play. But again, we are holding a pretty key area here. Now, I'm going to go into the smaller time frame to see even further. What I like about this right now is that I would love for us to hold, and this to see, because I don't know if did I mark Globex for today? I don't think I did. This is actually an old Globex spot. I haven't marked the new one today. The new one is, give me a second here, gang. The new one is actually up here, technically speaking, isn't it? Give me a second, gang. Okay, it's here. I did mark it. 45.71. Since we opened, we've been pushing lower. These are technically not relevant anymore at this point. But I'm looking for us to kind of break lower. So if we can lose this 45.22 area, I mean, we have a lot of support here, right? But I wouldn't be surprised on a gold wise if we could come back down, because we have this gap to fill here that we could potentially fill over the course of the session. Otherwise, if we go any lower, you can see the spots I got 45.02, 44.99, 44.91, and then if we can honestly even clear the 44.91, I would love for us to tag 44.55 again. I mean, that was a very key critical point for us. As of right now, I'm just going to be bearish on bearish on gold. Sorry, I don't have a lot of strong positive sentiment for gold. Again, it doesn't mean we can't do a retracement before we continue down. Over the course of tonight, if gold does bounce, let's say we double bottom here at the 45.22 spot, I'd be open to see if we can tag up back to this 45.40 level area, which, because I think by then the 200 EMA will also be coinciding with the level at that point. Otherwise, other than that, I would see if gold can probably make our way back up to the VWAP area, and that's a big if, right? Like, I don't know if we're really gonna get that. So anyways, that's kind of my 2 cents on gold at the moment. So yeah, I'll just catch up with the chat here again. I'll move back to the NQ as well. Yes, drop some thumbs up, gang. Drop some thumbs up. We got 98 thumbs up, 246 of you guys here. Let's double that. Let's double it up so I can get that 50K count giveaway to you guys. Yeah, FETH. As soon as we are at the 200 thumbs up mark, I will give the instructions for the giveaway. What Magnet Trades kind of talked about, that's exactly it. You'll notice for me that I don't ever really talk about dollars on a trade. Like, it's rare. The only time I'll even highlight it is that if I have already finished the trade and I'm done, then I'll say, okay, I made 1,200 bucks on that trade. Like, that's probably pretty much. Otherwise, you guys probably noticed by now, I always talk about points. So I trade minis. I primarily trade minis. I don't trade micros. And that's mainly because for me, I do trade on prop firms. When I trade futures, I only trade self-funded when I'm trading on my when I'm trading options, right? That's when I'll trade self-funded. But futures wise, I do trade on prop firms. Personal opinion, because I know that there's a divide in terms of how people feel about prop firms and live. For me, from all-roundedness, tax purposes, leverage purposes, it just makes no sense for me not to use prop firms. That's why I use it. But generally, I trade with minis. With the students that I work with, I'll often tell them to do micros and not minis, because I think that, especially if you're learning, watching your mini contract move up and down in the fashion that it does, it can be very hard to digest for many people, which is generally the reason why I talk micros. Oh, thanks. I was going to say, All Out God, I wasn't sure if the public had access to my profile, but judging by your response, I'm assuming that you've seen it. So I'm glad you're able to see that. Chalam, 50K or 150K. Are you asking me which one I prefer? I'm 150K all the way because I like the drawdown that comes with it. But if you're talking about what's the best to trade with, generally with most prop firms, the 50K account offers the best profit target to drawdown ratio. Sometimes the 25Ks can be really good as well, but that's, again, for newer individuals, I'll generally recommend 25K or 50K. Otherwise, I like the drawdown. I think Jake probably shares the same sentiment with me. I think we both like having the 150K accounts because we like the drawdown. Aaron, if you've gone through the MM already, man, like, yeah, I keep going through them. I mean, if you have access to this Discord, it makes no sense to not just kind of keep going through the videos because there's obviously a lot of value there. So I definitely would recommend going through the videos over and over and over again, just to kind of help build the confidence and knowledge for you, right? Nice learning. Glad to see that you caught that 1 hour trade, man. Well done. Bernati, nice. One down, another one to go, right? Amon, I noticed that there are a lot more retests during Asia London markets compared to New York hours. So is this because of the difference in volume? I think it's possible. I mean, I don't know the science or the reasoning behind that. That could be a possibility. But that's also the reason why I like trading the Asia and the London session, is because of the fact that it has the retests more often, which is, again, why I like the break and retests versus breakout trades. Yeah, NQ's just ranging right now, staying in trade. Yeah. Hey, Dara, good to see you, man. I don't know if it would be still valid, and I would say that let's wait for candle confirmation. And the reason why I'm saying that, because is you notice that we were ranging here, right? And right now we aren't really tagging that range again. So you can almost kind of look at this as we're kind of trying to form another lower high. So I don't know if I would long that. Wait for candle confirmation and see what it does. Because again, this 29.78175 spot is kind of like the line in the sand that we need to hold if we're going to look for longs. Otherwise, longs don't make a whole lot of sense for us, right? Yeah, so William, so for myself, when I'm using a 150K account, I trade with minis pretty much all the time. So I'll go 1 mini at a time for most trades. If basically the more of an A+ setup it is, the more likely that I'm going to size up my trades even further. The most I will ever trade is 3 minis on a funded. If it's an eval, I'm more than happy to mess around a little bit more freely. But 3 minis is the max. And people have seen me do this before. I posted on YouTube before. People who work with me, they've seen it before as well. Generally speaking, if I'm sizing 3 minis, like I'm talking like probably almost every box on my playbook is checked off. And that's why I'm taking. And usually on those trades as well, that's usually where I catch my bangers, because A, I have more contracts, which means I can trim. But also it means that I'm already having the expectation that I'm going to hold for longer. So generally, like if you look at my history, whether it's on Instagram, YouTube, my trader stats, where I've achieved my biggest trading days, like my 10K trading days, those days came from trading 3 minis. All out God. So you must have joined after. Right now with the 50% off code rake on them, 150K accounts only $180 right now, and it's $4,500 drawdown. So for the eval phase, I think it's actually very, very feasible to get there. When you get to the funded, that's where there is intraday trailing, so you have to build above the buffer. But once you get past that, man, Take Profit Trader is probably one of the firms out there that offer you the most closest to live opportunity, where you can withdraw payouts on the daily. Like, it's the prop firm that I prefer, other than the fact that I've maxed out with so many prop firms, because I am capped out with 5 prop firms already. And for those who don't know what capping out means, that just means that I've achieved the max payout. And because of where I live in Canada, I actually can't even be moved live either. So I generally just cap out and move on to another prop. Take Profit Trader is one of the few that I still continue to trade with, and I haven't. So then that's the reason why I stick with them. But yeah, I love it because the daily payouts is just kind of a no-brainer. Even on weeks like this where I'm like taking it a bit easier, where I'm not trading as frequently, I've been able to still get a payout out of TPT at least like once a week is what I've been doing as of late. So, and the chat's blowing up here. Gold setting up for another short. You reckon we are at a level of interest and it's getting weak? Let's take a look at gold. Yeah, I mean, I don't know when you typed that, but we're definitely getting a nice move. What I'd really like to see gold do, to be honest, I don't know if it's going to play out this way, but I would like us to break beneath and then hold and then continue downwards. That's what I would like to see on gold, if it presents that opportunity. Let's see this. I'm going to enlarge the spot in case it's not clear. Just reading through the chat, gang. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. And thank you for tuning in, by the way. I appreciate the support. Got three new TPT 25 Pros. The trailing is tough, though. Oh, William. Yeah, man. Okay, so on 25K, that's going to be tough, too. Like, generally for me, I try to scalp until I get past the buffer. Like, it's so hard to hold the trade with intraday trailing. Unless you're trading New York, maybe you might be able to get away with it. But yeah, in Asia, you can get wrecked pretty quickly. Bull party. Welcome to the life of trading the NQ, man. It can get pretty crazy. Just remember, I don't know how long you've been trading for, but like, depending on when you start your trading cycle, it can make a big difference, man. It can make a big difference. Like if you're learning when you're in ranging markets, it can be very tough for you. If you're learning in trending markets, you might get early wins and a euphoria that might set false expectations that end up causing you to spiral in the later periods. But keep working at it, my friend. Once I do the giveaway, FVTH, basically the way that it works is that you will reach out to me and I will DM you the code, assuming that you win. So Mark Panita, I think that really depends. I think I know who you are, by the way. If I correct me if I'm wrong, Mark. We've talked before, right? I think I know who you are. Personally, for me, I like the trim. I can't hold the moves all the way. I just know I don't have the mentals for it. And now when I say trim, I don't mean like trim at like 0.5R or something like that. I'll generally still hold, you know, like I think a 1 to 2R before trimming is ideal. But anything before that is a little too early. But I do like to do it. And that's the reason why I said when I have like those 3R, when I trade with 3 minis, like I generally can catch really massive moves because I usually won't trim until I hit 2R, and then the next one doesn't get trimmed until 3 or 4R. And then the last runner sometimes, man, I just literally hover it with higher lows until I hit to a point where I just think like, yeah, this is it. Where like I think some of my largest trades I've had on futures have been like 300-point trades before, right? That's from doing that. What do you feel gets hit first? 30K on NQ. Seems like we're going for the gap first. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to speculate. I have position. I would have a trade thesis for both, and I would execute on both. Good morning, Tella. Where 150K for 109 bucks? What's that? Alex Berlin. Oh, there you go. Thanks, learning for. I'm like reading on the chat. I see you answered it. It's $180 USD for 150K account with code RAKE. Their 50% off deal isn't going to last long. They actually have never done one like this before, so definitely take advantage of it. Ball party candlestick indicator you like to use. Indicators in general, I just like the VWAP. I like the EMAs. Different time frames, I use different ones, but that's kind of the ones that I would use. Good morning, 44. Trading about a year. Okay, so you're still pretty new to the game. Honestly, Vernati, man, like I think just the question, you know, he's asking for advice about like how does he, you know, make sure that he does well with these funded. All I can say, man, is that like you just need to look. I don't know if you've established yet what is considered your most high probable setups, but you just got to make sure you stick to that, man. You got to stick to those. Trade with a healthy size. Don't size too high. Trade the plan. I mean, honestly, if you really think about it, the market movement has no correlation to your mentals around whether you have an eval, a funded, whether you're close to blowing, close to passing a payout, whatever it may be. The market doesn't know. So really all it is it's a psychology game. It's a mental game for you. For what you're really looking for at this point in time is to just stick to your plan and don't waver just because you're in your funded. It shouldn't matter at all. Yeah, William, man, sizing is absolutely everything, man. Bull, you transferred to futures 3 months ago. Welcome to the dark side, my friend. Yeah, learning 100%. Yeah, usually the markets aren't as volatile. I mean, I think a lot of the more experienced traders in the space had talked about this on social media as well, that people were excited for Trump taking power because that generally means more volatile markets. And so some people hate it, but honestly, it creates a lot of opportunities for day traders to capitalize in the marketplace. Bull party, I trade with generally for funded. I'll range between 3 to 5 on average. Sometimes I'll get to like 7. It really depends. These days, I'm just managing the existing 5 that I have. I haven't really done much outside of that. And it's because also Bull Party, I don't copy trade at all. I only trade individually. So that's the reason why I also don't want too many accounts, because I'm not going to even be able to cycle through all of them. John's 6. The 50% off on TPT, when you say every month, I don't know if you mean by every month. I'm assuming you're talking about like the subscription. I've actually, you know what? I've never actually held a TPT eval for over a month. So I don't actually even know how that would actually work. So I wouldn't know what to speak to that actually on that one. But it is only a 50% off promo right now though. That's the one thing I can say. And I don't know how long that's gonna last. Dr. Research, well said, my friend. Jillian, no, I'll put the Naruto themes on. I was saying that I was gonna switch it up and I'll put on some Naruto themes. Actually, you know what? It's 11 o'clock now, so maybe I will switch over to some Naruto themes actually. There you go. Good evening, Pete. Oh, there you go. Thanks for answering that question, Pinko, because I wasn't really too sure. I see the NQ is bouncing off that channel spot that I mentioned. What do we got up for thumbs up, guys? We got 276 of you guys on stream. Welcome to Project 365, guys. Hope you guys are doing good. If this is your first time streaming, ask your questions, man. I did my chart review earlier on, so if you want to look at the chart review, you can definitely roll back to around 10:15, 10:16 Pacific Standard Time. I did the whole chart review for NQN goal and kind of what I'm looking for. I've got the targets up here as well. But yeah, I'm here to chat, ask questions. I'll answer them as much as I can to the best of my ability. I really do want to give it a giveaway for you guys, man. I mean, right now we're about 57 thumbs up away from doing this giveaway. And I want to give 2 giveaways, guys. I want to do 2. But I need you guys to get us to that number, man. 200 thumbs up for the first, 300 thumbs up for the second. Right? So let's get it, guys. Let's get it. On a 50K, would you trade 1 mini or micros only? All out God, I still trade minis no matter what. Again, I don't trade 50Ks anymore. But generally speaking, if you're talking about your risk, generally my rule of thumb has always been, and for all the new guys that are hopping in here, I always look at bullets in the chamber as 10. So, and what do I mean by that? It means that if you have a $2,000 drawdown on an account, I wouldn't risk more than 200. Oh, there you go. That's the alert. That's 2R locked in right now. So had you entered that long trade, I don't know. Again, if it was a mini, that would have been $500. 5 micros, that would have been $250. So that's a 2R trade. Sorry, going back to what I said earlier. Generally, that would mean that you would risk $200 per trade, because that would mean you can lose 10 trades back to back before your account blows. I think that's a reasonable amount of risk and a reasonable amount of draw for your drawdown as well. If you haven't seen on my YouTube my MNQ series, that's a very good example to base it off of. I did a whole series of trades with Top Step, starting from a 50K eval, trading only 3 micros per trade, risking $180 per trade, and getting that from eval to pass, from pass to payout, from payout 1 to payout 2. And the whole purpose of the series was to really just demonstrate that if you could be consistent in executing your plan, you can make it even trading micros. You know, for all those who are YOLOing, yeeting like massive minis in a trade, you don't need to do that, right? I can't remember anymore because it's been a long time since I've watched my M&Q series, but I think I passed my account in 14 trading days, trading M&Q. I got a payout in 9 days, which was only like I think I only took like $300 payout or whatever, because I think I said that I want to withdraw the payout to basically pay for the account, for the eval and the activation fee. So after the first payout, I was break even essentially at that point on the account. And then I think like 5 or 6 more days after that, I withdrew another $2,000. And that was just showing you over the course of like, I guess, what would that have been? 5 weeks of trading or 6 weeks of trading, spending $200, $300 on an account, passing it and getting a payout for that. So anyways, I put the YouTube in the Discord already, or sorry, not the Discord. I put the YouTube in the chat. So if you guys want to watch the M&Q series, you can, but that's just kind of just, again, I'm just role modeling a demonstration of discipline and what that can do for you when sized properly. A new firm opening in August, 50K account will cost $1,300. They give you a crazy static 10K drawdown. You need to pass account in 60 days. Then you go live with 10K draws. Real love. Oh, that's interesting. I haven't seen that. That's an interesting model. Chris, I find my channel spots generally on larger time frames, hourly, 4-hour, daily, and I'm basically looking for key areas on the market where I've seen reactions to. Have you ever gone down the path of yeeting or full porting evals to pass them quickly just to blow past counts later? Absolutely, man. I mean, I think we've kind of, I will tell you, there's probably nothing, every kind of like toxic trait you could possibly think of. I think I have gone through all of them, to be honest. I think I've gone through all of them. So the way I look at that is that like the way you trade your evals, you're learning, it should be the way you trade your funded. Now, if you do truly have an edge and you know your strategy, sure, you want to yeet your evals, that's great. But once you get to the funded phase, you just got to make sure you don't trade the same way and trade with that same mindset of like, oh, I passed it so fast, I should get a payout just as fast. Just think about the fact that today, man, you guys have the ability to spend what, $200, $300 on an account, and you can make thousands with it. But the problem is that we rush the process too much, and because we rush it, we end up blowing them. The whole purpose of the M&Q series was to show you that if you just had patience, you can make a full-time salary trading, right? With the leverage of prop firms, if you just took the time. And that's what I said, you know, some people have asked me, hey, Alan, I noticed you haven't been posting about your payouts as much lately. And the reality is because I haven't been taking as much payouts lately. For the past few weeks, I've actually only been taking payouts like once a week. Now, I still a few $1,000s, but just think about that though, right? Imagine even being able, even if it wasn't a few thousand, even if it's just 1,000, if you can make $1,000 in payouts every week, that's $4,000 USD. I don't know where you are around the world, but to me, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And I think that sometimes that in the social pay space, it's kind of desensitized yourself because you see these guys making 30Ks, 40K, 50K. Don't get me wrong, I've done that. But does it mean that that should be your expectation, that you could do that every day, every week, every month? I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense. I think if you can manage your expectation and treat this game with the respect that it deserves, this can truly become a really strong side hustle or even replace your career one day, right? So that's just my opinion on that. I mean, you've seen my my trader stats, and I'll go through some of that later on, but I've had massive success. And even though that, you know, a lot of people ask me like, oh, Alan, you know, since you had such a big year last year, are you looking to have that big year again this year? The answer is no. You know what my target is, guys? And I already hit it. I said to myself, if I could make a quarter of what I made last year, I'm a happy camper. And you might ask, why? Why would you settle for less? I don't know. Everyone has different values, but for me, life isn't just about the money. I can make money in so many different ways. There are other things that are far more important to me than that. So sometimes you also have to say, you know, Jake talks about this a lot as well. Life is about risk to reward. If I last year had a monumental year, I already got my reward. This year, maybe I want to risk a little less and have a little bit less reward. And I'm okay with that. If that means I get to spend more time with my kids, spend more time with my wife, travel the world more. If I could do those things more, I think that's a little bit more valuable to me. I don't know. I feel like now I'm kind of rambling though, but kind of long story short, hopefully that kind of builds some thought process for you guys as well. Charles, I'm assuming you just probably hopped in 150K accounts, and Take Profit Trader is my primary prop firm that I trade with right now, which is the reason why it's pinned there for you guys. 50% off with Take Profit Trader with code RAKE right now. I've capped out with a lot of prop firms too, Charles. That's the reason why I don't trade with like all the other ones. Yeah, it worked out well. So if you didn't catch the long trade, by the way, on NQ down here, this beautiful retest of the channel, literally, bam, right there. That would have been another nice long right there. Hey, Joshin, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing good. Dara, so again, this comes down to the time frame and what type, again, strategy you're looking for. So in this case, the scenario, we like that we had this 2-minute hold of the area here. So obviously this gives you even less risk, right? Really, at this point, you're risking 6 points. So this would have been like a very solid risk to reward trade that you could have taken, assuming that you want to take a 2-minute entry. But even on a 5-minute entry, right? Like you can see here that we had that fail to go lower, and then again, some people have different styles. You could take the break above that candle wick high and enter through that, which would then put your risk about, instead of 6.5, your risk will be about 10, so a little bit more than that. But those would be a few ways that you could have taken that trade. Aaron, with your strat, can you find a setup anytime? Yeah, technically, the answer in technicality is yes, I could find a setup in any time. However, not all of them are going to be like A+. Like you're going to have missing boxes to the setups. Like this would be a good example of, did this setup work? Yeah, it did. But was this A+? No, it wasn't. But it worked, right? Thanks, All Out God. Appreciate it, man. Hey, man, bull party. If trading is your career, my man, power to you, man. Power to you. Definitely got to respect the game then. Last year was not a normal year. Yeah, last year was a wild year, and I'm glad I was able to capitalize on that. Thank you, Oman. Appreciate it, man. Do I ever trade? I don't trade ES. I have nothing against ES, guys. I don't. It's just, it was all just the timing of luck for me and how it all turned out. Because when I used to trade options, I used to trade SPY, SPX, and Tesla. I actually didn't even trade QQQ. But when I went over to futures, I can't remember, but someone just recommended when I was dabbling in futures, like, oh, Alan, you should try trading the NQ. So I tried. I didn't even know what the hell the NQ was at the time. I just traded it, right? And so I built the comfortability on trading the NQ. So now for me, I'm just like, okay, well, it's what I was comfortable with. And I just never migrated back to over trading ES because I already had studied the NQ so much that I'm like, you know what, this is my baby now. So I just trade NQ and gold for those reasons. William, an A+ setup, I mean, it's a long list, but if I were to high level it, right, let's just say that I was looking for like a long trade. First and foremost, larger time frames have to show us that we are bullish, right? And then so I would go through the multi-time frame analysis to make sure that every time frame suits what I'm looking for the longs. Take it easy, AXP. Have a good night, man. I would take a look to multi-time frame analysis and top-down analysis to see if we're looking like we're having that uptrend potential. From there, I'm looking for small time frame execution with market structures favoring the uptrend that I'm looking for. I generally look for reference points on the market, levels, prints, channels, all the things that I use. Indicator with extra conviction as well. And I'm a bar by bar fanatic. So for sure, I'd have to have the bar by bar setup as well. And from there on out, just risk to reward, if it makes sense. That's like, I'm literally what I just told you. That's my checkbox. Like check, 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 check. Obviously, once you go into each of those, what does MTFA look like? What does top down analysis look like? All of that then gets very deep and gritty. So yeah, that's hopefully that answers your question, William. No, I don't have a place where I do that because it's actually a lot. So Anna, for me, it's not even about being guarded. If you ask any of my students, it's rigorous. The amount of teaching that I do outside of the 8 hours of teaching my system, there are constant one-on-ones that I spend with them going over the system and integrating it and all that. So it isn't actually something that is so easily for me to just share for those reasons. Thanks, Satya. Hopefully I'm not butchering your name there. Would I consider more long an NQ? So what I would like to see next for us to actually get an NQ move continuation now. So now that we've kind of, I'm going to start moving this over now that we're getting this. What I would like to see next now is I would like for us to show that we are holding strength here before we go for longs. That's what I would want to look for in the NQ. Yeah, Charles, when they did the 40% off, that was like their long-term thing. So 50% off is a new thing for them right now. That's not meant to last. I think they'll go back to the 40% soon again. I've never traded Forex. I don't understand Forex. And from my understanding, Forex sounds very unregulated, so I don't know. Dara, bar by bar is reviewed in MM. Absolutely. It is reviewed in MM. Again, just remember that in everything, you take what you can. Like the MM will show you everything that how the Jake Ricci system operates with every other integration of the MM system, right? But it's not going to go into the surgical aspects either, because again, you can get really lost in the weeds, right? Like people who trade like Heiken Ashis, I mean, they have a style of how they trade those as well, and they would read those bar by bars differently. So I think again, that's why if there was a book to read, Bar by Bar by Al Brooks are the books that we recommend. But yeah, the cheapest way, the easiest way for the gang that's here, if you guys are just tuning for the first time, if you guys actually take advantage of the sub, I don't know if code STREAM still works, but if it does, it's 50% off the Rake Stream. That automatically is going to give you access to all the MM videos. So just putting it out there. Aaron, yeah, the Rake MM is absolutely a good base. That is 100% what we would recommend. Because foundationally, that's where what I've done is built upon, right? Of course, all of the hosts on Project 365 have evolved the trading, but it is the foundation, so it's a good starting point. And I shouldn't say starting point, because like honestly, you can, as you can see, Jake has done 7 figures, probably 8 figures now, trading using his system. But I know for different people, they will try to evolve and emulate different things. So that's why I say it's a good starting point and foundation. What's gold doing right now? Yeah, we just bounced. We had no follow through there, guys. What are we at right now for thumbs up? 165. 35 more thumbs up, gang, and we will do a 50K giveaway. No problem, Craig. You know, while we're rating right now as well, because I'm looking for us to do that giveaway with the gang here soon. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm actually very new to it. This is the first time trading for me. Oh, sorry, first time trading. This is my first time streaming, actually. I've been streaming for, I think Project 365, we've been doing this for 7 weeks now. But this is the first time I've ever streamed, so I do appreciate it. It means a lot. I think that's a, Dara, I think that's a preference for Jake specifically. Mercado. I have the 2-minute time frame, but then again, I don't like to show all the time frames. I'm only doing this for the stream. When I trade, I have the 2-minute, 5-minute, 15-minute time frame up, and then I'm always looking at the hourly, and I'm looking at the larger time frames when I trade. So I don't actually just trade off the 2-minute. I also don't trade off the 1-minute. I have students that I work with that trade off the 1, 5, and 1 hour confluence. But that's because of their trading style. For me, the 1 minute it doesn't work for me. It's just it's a little bit too much noise for me, which is why I use the 2. Thanks, my guy. Thank you, Dara. I appreciate it, man. How long will it take rec program on average? What do you mean by that? So Mercado asking the question of what does the 2-minute tell you over the 1 minute? Just think about it this way: as a bar by bar fanatic, every single candlestick on the chart is telling you a story. It's the battle between buyers and sellers taking place at that very moment in time. The volume that comes into each of those candles will also tell you how much participants that are taking place in each of those candles. Every single time frame will also tell you a story. Whatever happens on the smaller time frame is just a fragment of the bigger picture. And so for me, I find the 1 minute is too noisy because there's not enough time digestion in that candle for me to have a sense of what I want to even make of it. And so the way that I run it in conjunction with every other time frame, 1 minute is just too short of information. The way that you should look at it is, imagine as if you have an option to get information every 1 minute or information every 2 minutes in terms of how you want to digest that information, that is up for you to decide. If you think about also in terms of depending on your trading style, if you think that you can make a decision every 60 seconds based on the candlestick forming, then power to you. Personally, I find that that's a little too noisy for me, again, for my style of trading. I know that there's a lot of ICT traders out there who will use the 1 minute time frame, and it makes sense based on what I've learned of their style. I understand why they use the 1 minute, but it just doesn't work for me. So we're 11 more thumbs up away from doing the giveaway. I'm just going to quickly show you guys my trader stats just to kind of go over this a little bit, just because I know this is something that you guys kind of ask about as well. So I don't know for those who know, but in terms of trading, the journaling and all that stuff, but this is my journal. This is actually one of my weaker months, guys. Like, this is actually probably the weakest month I've had since my first few months of trading. And when I say weaker, I don't mean that I've had a lot of losses. I just haven't traded as much as I historically have. And you'll see why when I show you my success I've already had up to this point. I'm honestly, because I'm kind of going through the ebb and flows right now of like making some big changes in my life, I'm taking a little bit easier during this time of change. So I haven't traded as much, but overall stats are still pretty solid so far. 76% win rate. You can see that I know some people who see me do 1 hour trades, they just think I'm a scalper all the time. I mean, if I was a scalper, I wouldn't be holding my average trade for 20 minutes. That's obviously not true, but it answers or buts, right? When you go through this, you can also kind of see like trading days, best times of days, worst times of days, periods of times, how long you hold your trade. There's a lot of data here, which is the reason why I like doing this, right? And then you can also see this is what I mean by my weakest month. We only have this 1 week left to the month of May, and the month is almost over. So you can see that obviously my month is not going to be strong. It's going to be like half of what I did in April, which is totally okay, right? But as you go through the calendar, we can also break down the day's trade. You can see my calendar here already. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so you guys can see this better. You can already see here that the amount of trades or even the profitability, they're lower numbers than I historically have done. And when I say lower numbers than I historically have done, you can see here, if I go through April, you can see I had some bigger days up here, more like 4K days, 5K days, 6K days. If you go further back even, I have like 10K days, 15K days. So obviously this period in time, I'm going a little bit slower. Even when you talk about journaling as well, like I've showed this example last time, but this is an example of like journaling where you can see here the gold trade that I took this day, the NQ trade that I took this day, same thing, right? Amount of contracts, sizing and positioning, profits. Like this day was a $5,000 day. That was two trades taken as well. You can see the journal notes that I take. Again, these journal notes are a lot more lax than they used to be. I was a lot more critical when I used to trade. Like I'm talking, my journals used to be like very in depth. Like I'm talking, it'd probably take you like a solid 10 minutes to read my journaling for like one trade. But now they're a little bit more easier to kind of go off of, if that makes sense. But this is just an example of that. And then I know for those who are kind of looking as well, this might be the first time that you guys have seen this, but you can see here from a payout perspective, this is the reason why I've taken it a little bit slower as well. You can see what I achieved last year in payouts and what I have already achieved this year in payouts. And this is with me technically taking it easy for the past month. Like, and when I say taking easy, I mean I'm just trading less. Like I'm focusing more on a lot of other aspects. And technically speaking, the past 2 payouts that I've gotten, I haven't even updated the payout yet. I technically got a payout last Friday and the Friday before that. So I still need to update that into my trader stats. I haven't done that yet. I've just been a little slow to doing this, but you can see exactly why like I said, I made the comment that I am taking it easy in the way that I am. Just catching up with the chat here, guys. Do I have 200 thumbs up yet? We're 1 thumbs up away, gang. Come on. How many accounts in your journal? So TradeWap, it depends on the given time. I'll usually average 3 to 5 accounts. At the peak of my trading, like when I was still trading my Funded Futures, Tradeify, Funded Futures family, like before I got maxed out with those guys, I had like 15 accounts with me at the time. If you, for those who are in the Rig Discord, if you guys remembered, I used to like, I had so many accounts. Like it was to the point that I remember when my funded futures back then, you could have a maximum of 3 funded accounts. And I would have like 3 pro accounts, and I would still have like 5 other accounts in dormant waiting to be like activated. So back in the day, I was a lot more aggressive, just to kind of give you a perspective of that. Jay Greiser. I literally just showed my journal, so hopefully I answered your question there. Chris Newen, for the month of May, that's across 3 accounts, I think, 3 or 4. I haven't really touched my 5th account much actually this month, so. Thanks, Momo. I have done the live program once. So the way that it works is that once you go Pro Plus, which is what their live is, then you're trading live with them essentially. So I've done that, I think, twice. But obviously, as once you blow the account, you go back to the sim funded phase again, right? So I haven't been live since then. And to be perfectly honest, for me, I don't know if you guys know, in order for you to move live, generally speaking, you have to hit like a certain payout, certain P&L cap. Because I don't ever keep my buffer in, I always withdraw my payouts. I don't ever actually hit the amount needed to even move to the live. And so to be perfectly honest, I'm okay with the sim funded aspect of things. I find that it's more financially beneficial for me, even from a tax perspective. So, Fry Guy, no, I just upload the trades. Basically, you download your trades off of your brokerage, and you can upload it straight to Trader Stats. Yeah, Sagar, 100%. Hey, 216 thumbs up. All right. So you guys are, for those who are hopping in, great timing. Looks like this long play is also kind of playing out right now. We'll let it play out for now, but I am going to do the giveaway now. Give me a second here, guys. I got to set the bot up before I do this. Setting up the bot, guys. Setting up the bot. Yeah, Aaron, bar is what I would recommend. Aaron, these are the books, bro. This is the newer version. Jake has the OG version, which is really hard to digest. Trading action by trends, trading action by reversals, trading by the ranges. You can order these on Amazon as well, but I would recommend them. I used to read them all the time when I'm on plane rides. Okay, I'm just going to set up the giveaway, gang, because I know you guys are looking for this. All right, guys, I'm just going to type this here as well, just as instruction. So for participate in giveaway, thumbs up on the stream, type once. Only type it in once. Okay, so I'm going to set up the bot here, guys. Sorry, you guys are chatting. Hold on. Don't yet. I haven't started the bot yet, guys. I have not started the bot yet. Give me a second. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to start the bot. If you guys have questions, you can ask me after the giveaway. Okay, the bot's set up. Let's go. All right, while you guys are doing this, I'm going to go get myself some cake. I'll be right back. I don't know if news just came up, but that was a quick nosedive. I see the giveaway still going. There's about 2 minutes left. 2.5 minutes left of the giveaway, gang. I'm just making coffee and grabbing my cake at the moment. I'll be right back. Gonna go get the cake. Tuxedo Moose Cake, guys. We're holding beneath this channel right now. This is very interesting. We're having a hard time getting back above it. All right. We have the giveaway now, so no more spamming, guys. I'm gonna get the winner announced here. All right. Hey, Baljeet, you won a 50K account. Let's go. I know you're no stranger to me, so just send me a DM. You have my Instagram. That's awesome, guys. That's awesome. All right, you guys know the drill now, right? The next one's 300 thumbs up, which we're almost there already. If we can get 35 more thumbs up, we'll do another giveaway, gang. All right, for anyone who asked questions, I obviously would not have seen any of your questions as your chat was blowing up earlier. So I'm just going to answer the questions that are coming in now. So if you guys ask the question in the middle of all that spam, please ask again, because I don't know what the questions are anymore. Yeah, Bulgy needs no proof of life. I have no idea. I have no idea what caused that pullback on there. But I would be interested in shorts if we hold beneath this channel, though. So I don't know what price is going to do. You have to just, I guess, wait and see. I always don't like to take trades immediately after a sharp move like this because it's very unclear what price is going to try to do next. Oh, trade WAP. There you go.
You can reach out to me on DM. If anyone's ever kind of curious, just to, I know that comes up quite often. If you're looking to like work with me one-on-one, even if you're not looking to go through like a full program with me, but if you just really just want to book time with me, just reach out to me on my DMs and we can see if that works. I do prioritize obviously a lot of everything that goes on in my life a lot, which is kind of also the reason why I haven't traded as much. One of my big goals actually this year, and I mentioned this in prior streams, is that those who are working, who have been with me for a long time know, after the monumental year that I had, I'm actually looking for more on how I can help people more than anything else. So that's kind of and also another reason. More focus on my family, more focus on traveling, more focus on my business, and more focus on education. That's been the 4 areas. And so yeah, that's the reason why also a lot of times for some of the newer guys that are hopping on stream, I'm not here just to offer a class content thing. Not that there's anything wrong with people who do that, but for me, I'm much more dedicated on focusing on actually one-on-one. So it's coaching. This isn't just one of those things where you do just learn a system and move on. Although I value my system a great deal, I'm more focused on what is your style. Are you an ICT trader? You're an orb trader? You're a levels trader? What are you? And I'm hoping that I can work with that individual and kind of help build on that a little bit further. So that's kind of where why I've chosen to do the things. Because some people have asked me, like, Alan, why don't you just like, can you just like, what's your system? Can you just sell me your system? And I was like, don't get me wrong. I don't get me wrong. I think I could do that, but I don't want to, because I don't want the mindset of people thinking like, oh, you know what, like you're gonna, sell me this class and then what if I don't do well? Like, what is it? It's your fault, my fault. I don't want to fall into that rut. I'd much rather work with people one-on-one. I think that goes further along. I also think that builds a better relationship overall as well, so that you don't treat this as like oh, I buy the system, I become rich. Not how it works. There are thousands of free strategies on YouTube you can learn if that's actually what you're looking for. Coaching, mentoring, very different story. And I think that's where a lot of my success come from in the corporate world and the entrepreneurial world, is the coaching aspect of things. So just DM me on Instagram and we can talk more about that. I don't want to chat about that too much on YouTube per se. So just shoot me a DM there if you guys have any questions about that stuff relating to that. We are 27 thumbs up away from the next giveaway, guys. Thanks to Marcus. Keki, I'm not sure if all prop firms are going to be the same. I think most prop firms, the discount only applies to usually the first month. And honestly, that's the reason why I don't go with props that usually charge a sub fee over and over and over again usually. Like I strongly recommend Lucid. Anyone who's never traded Lucid trading is, they don't have, it's a one-time fee. There's no subs over and over again. So especially if you're learning as a student, it's probably the best thing to do. No problem, Keki. Teach them how to customize risk using the trading view built on a long short system. Hey, Magnet Trade. Sorry, was that a question, a statement? I wasn't really too sure about that comment there. All good, Pete. I must have missed your question. Oh, I see your question now. How many contracts do you trade NQ with on one account? 1 to 3 mini, depending on the setup. Rawness Games, based on your question, my thought process would be that let me move that out of the way. My process would be that you have to know your setups, man. Because if you're constantly taking your profits too early, you're not trading the chart, you're trading your P&L. And trading your P&L isn't going to get you to be the sustainable trader that you want to be, right? Oh yeah, all good, man. The plate, nothing too fancy. It's a tuxedo mousse cake from Costco. When I say don't trade P&L, it means that when you're taking your entries for risk and for your reward, you're not taking it because there's a certain dollar that you want to make. You're taking it because the chart tells you that there's opportunity for that. So let's just say hypothetically right now, okay?
I don't know if there's even a setup to take right now. Not really. Okay, I'm going to do a hypothetical trade right now with you guys. Let's just say I want to short the NQ. Right now, I could look at this and say that I am risking 14 points. I can say that I'm risking 300 bucks, 600 bucks, 800 bucks. That really just comes down to obviously that dollar figure there. Now, with that said, though, the chart doesn't matter. I mean, the dollar figure is irrelevant in the end of the day. You're trading the chart, right? So wherever the chart looks like it wants to move, you're targeting your risk to reward based on where the chart's trying to move. The dollar figure is completely irrelevant, right? The greed of P&L is what kills us every single time, right? And so if anything, it's more so just about figuring out what is your predetermined risk. So if you know for a fact that, you know, I don't know, let's just say 5 micros for like, you know, 30 points. That's about $300 in risk. I had to think about that for a second. $300 risk. If that's your predetermined risk, then yeah, go for that, man. It just means that you can't risk more than 30 points, right? Hopefully that, I don't know if that answers your question, Adam. Hopefully that does. Night owl, I mean, it depends. Some of them are hourly, 4-hour, daily, just, they're not all the same. Would I ever try to scale up for 5 contracts? I don't know, man. I've thought about like messing around with that. Maybe when I'm like back in the rhythm again and I'm like, I want to, you know, take some heavy hitters. Maybe I might use one of my funded accounts and risk that, but no, not yet. Yeah, trading the P&L's an evaluation trap. Yeah, man. Yeah, magnet trades. Exactly, right? Just think about it this way, right? And I want to use this as an example. And I remember thinking about this before. So I don't know. I think many of you guys know who Stock Market Wolf is. He was the person who originally worked with Rake Trades back in the early days. I also was in Market Wolf's Discord in the early days as well. Not as early as Rake though. And I remember Andrew and I took the same trade. Same trade as in like same asset, same thesis. But he entered, I think he had a better entry than me, and he held way longer than I did. But I want to give you a perspective, okay, guys? I don't remember the exact dollar figure anymore. Actually, you know what? Give me a second here. I might be able to pull that up for myself here. Give me a second here. Give me, oops, I didn't mean to close that all up. I actually want to find it because I do know I have it somewhere here. Okay, I think I found it here. Oh yeah, it was this trade right here. Sorry, gang. Give me a second here. Let me know if you can see this in a bit, okay? Give me a second here. I just gotta change this up. All right, right here, guys. So this was a trade, and I'm showing you guys this. Back in 2022, I took a trade. And so you can see here that this was the total P&L that I achieved. I can't remember how many contracts I went in on this, but basically this trade had moved so much in my favor. Like you can see here that on the highest end, I made a 500% return on this trade. I walked away with $24,000, and this was on small caps. Small caps, guys. This is not options, none of that stuff, right? This is what I was doing at the time. Now, I remember Market Wolf. He held this trade for longer than I did, and guess what? We talk about size-wise. He also had a way bigger float size than I did. Why am I sharing this? Because in this conversation, in what we're referring to when we talk about things like trading the P&L, if I was obsessed trying to make as much as Andrew was, I was never going to get there. And it would be a fallacy of a goal that I would be trying to shoot for. That was his record-breaking trade. He achieved over $1 million in he achieved $1 million on that trade. That was his first $1 million stock trade. So that's just an example of, oh, sorry, you moved to the left. Thanks for letting me know. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more and then I'll move over. Give me a second here. There you go. You'll be able to see it better now. That is just an example, right? But like, I'm very happy at that time in my career. That was like 4 years ago. I was very happy making that in the market on one trade, right? But if I was so focused on like comparing myself, I would have been so defeated. You know, I would have been so defeated looking at the fact, oh man, he made $1 million. Why didn't I make $1 million? The P&L in the end of the day is really not relevant, right? It is not relevant in the grand scheme of things. You're trading the chart. You're focusing on that. That's what really matters most. And there are so many little tricks and trades that you can do to help resolve that and figure that out for you. I'm just getting my chart set back up here, guys, by the way, if you're wondering what happened to the chart. The indicators. Give me a second here. Now I'm having a hard time getting this thing back up. Hang on with a sec, guys. Oh, there he is. All right, sorry, I gotta go through the chat again here, guys. Zukum trading off the chart, not my P&L being in that trap for so long. 100%, Miguel, 100%. It's hard though, right? No, I'm not in a short. I was giving a hypothetical here. No, MM and Stock Market Wolf, two completely different traders. How are we doing in terms of the thumbs up? We are 17 thumbs up away, guys. And we have 12 minutes left of the stream. Yeah, Daniel, that was a long time ago, man. That's the purpose of small cap trading, right? You momentum trade. That's the whole goal. That's the whole idea of it. I don't trade live outside of this. I actually do this for educational purposes more than anything. I actually, when I trade, I have to trade on my own terms. And what I mean by that is that I have to trade at my convenience. Sitting in front of a screen and doing this is honestly not the best use of my time in my given day because I work in the restaurant industry and I'm an entrepreneur. So between my family and my business, I prioritize that over everything else, which is honestly, if it wasn't for the stream, I would have never, ever live trade ever. This is like a first for me. Daniel, did you trade HKD back then too? Ben, I work with restaurant owners. Like I'm a business consultant. That's kind of where my forte is. Yeah, GME was wild. I made money during that time as well, like trading like because during GME it was GME, AMC, BlackBerry. I can't remember there was another name as well. There's a few of those names that were like kind of wild at the time. Man, if had I known how to trade options, that would have been so lucrative. I didn't trade options at the time. When GMA was going through that craziness, I only was trading small caps. Sorry, what does that message mean, Daniel? We're call sellers for GME that lost the house? What?
No, so do you think your family gave you some sort of impact in how you trade?
Hey, no, not a deep question at all. So, by the way, Miguel, I don't know if you know, I'm a father of 2 kids. I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. I think if anything, having children puts you into perspective, and it's a reminder of why you're doing what you're doing, which means that if you can't respect the game, you don't respect why you're playing the game to begin with, right? I like to believe, as a family man, from one family man to another, we're in this for our family. We're here trying to build a future for them. Are you gonna YOLO? Are you gonna gamble your family's future away? I'd like to believe not. And so I think that sometimes helps you remind. Like for me, you don't see my screens right now, but in front of me, I have pictures of my family as well, so stuff like that as well. And it is a reminder that at the end of the day, we're in this for the longer haul and the longer term. I think also it's important that if you ever feel like you're forcing trades or you're staying in your screen, you're overstaying your welcome, just remember why you're doing what you're doing, man. Like step away. Sometimes when I'm in my screen, I'll sometimes, like if my kids are like playing with a Lego or something like that, I'll walk away from the screen and I go spend time with them. Because I'm like, if I'm looking at this chart right now and there's nothing presenting itself and I'm literally just staring at it for no reason, and when I could actually be over there spending time with my kid, what am I doing here? Right? So I think, Miguel, if anything, sometimes it helps ground you more than anything. Pete, coffee does nothing to me, man. I'll sleep like a baby. Oh, that's what you meant, Daniel. That's crazy. Yeah, I didn't follow all the drama. I know there was a lot of craziness that went behind that though. Have I ever tried blue waffles? What is that? What is blue waffles? ZL. What is ZL? Soybean? You trading soybean now, big boy? Dude, this is gross. Is this what you were asking me to check out for you? This chart looks gross, man. It's like a pixelated game. Do not look at blue waffles. Oh no. Oh no. Is it one of those, huh? Thanks for warning me. Thanks for warning me. I will not Google blue waffles. Clearly, that is a trap. Mahalo, Miguel. Are you Hawaiian? Yeah. Oh, you were looking at the 1 hour. Okay. I was like, yeah, this chart, your ZL chart looks gross. Are you looking for this to continue to break down further? Because I mean, we did gap down. We're also at a very important part of holding, though, so I'm not surprised we're holding this area. There's 6 minutes left, gang, and 10 more likes before we can get this next giveaway, gang. 8 more now. Are we at 300 now? Oh, let's go. All right, guys. All right, guys. You know the giveaway rules, right? Bring that back in the screen. Let's get it, guys. Good luck. Damn right I am. We got about a minute and a half left, and then the giveaways will be done. We got about 4 seconds left of the giveaway, gang. All right, so we're gonna announce the giveaway now. Let's see. Oh, learning. Let's go. I know you're here because I definitely talked to you earlier. So learning, you're the winner. Congratulations. Where you at, my friend? Where you at? I gotta make sure the proof of life is here, man. Learning, you there, man? Learning 8985. Are you there, my friend? Learning. Oh, I don't see you in the chat anymore. Did you leave? Oh no, that's not good. That's not good. Yeah, I don't see him. I'm gonna have to run this up again. I'm gonna have to run this up again. You guys don't have to type and enter again, guys. You guys don't need to do that. I could just literally just rerun it again here, so. Alright. Learning. I don't see you in the chat anymore. I can't tag you anymore. Calling once. Calling twice. Alright, man. I gotta skip to another person here then, my friend. Alright, let's pick the next winner instead. Dancing Carnivorous. Dancing Carnivorous. Are you there? Dancing Carnivorous. It says you are here. Where are you at, my friend? Yay, there you go.
Hey, and profit target right on time as you said that too. And so that's just an example there right now where you can see that that short trade was about a 15-point short trade, and on 2 minis that's $600. Someone might look at that and be like, oh my god, that's so much money. But again, it's just trading the chart at the end of the day, right? So the profit's not completely relevant here. Dancing Carnivorous, that's my Instagram. Please DM me for the code, and I will send you the code for the 50K account, my friend. Cool. Well, other than that, my friend, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. I know it's a good way to get kicked off again, but with all the spots that I marked up on the chart, as I always talk about it over and over again, just be wary of these spots because even if we're not trading them now, going into the London session here, going into New York session, I think it's worth watching to see how price reacts in these areas. Okay. But anyone who shorted that with me, congratulations. That obviously was a decent short, as we talked about how we held beneath the channel level because we couldn't break it back above it, right? So solid short to the downside. Can I trade? Yeah, I could just trade the short. Sorry, I can explain the trade quickly before I sign off here. So earlier on, as you guys know, for a long trade, I was looking for us to move higher, right? I want to see if we can get a break and retest, but we kind of failed that. As we were leaning into this, you can see here that we came back, so we double topped essentially here, if you think about it, right? We double topped up here. And then we reclaimed back beneath the 200 EMA. We're also holding beneath the channel again, which was like a range channel that we were looking at. So as candles were weakening here and London was opening up, I want to see how the London bar opened up. We opened up bearish, took my entry, captured the move. And so essentially for me, I was kind of, you could have held for longer because I think that would have been safer even to hold the range. The only reason why I took profit where I did was because I wasn't sure if this news candle that we had here, that low wick, was going to be a potential bounce spot. So I just took my profit there just to play it safe. So nevertheless, 2 minis, 15 points, $600. That's essentially kind of my quick rundown on that trade. Hopefully that helps. But yes, Dancing Carnivorous, please reach out to me on Instagram so I can make sure I get that to you. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in, though. I will be back at this again tomorrow. And for the rest of this week, 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 a.m. Eastern Time. Appreciate it, gang. I will catch you guys tomorrow.